Good morning, my Connect 0007 family. I hope you are having a fantastic Tuesday today. And you probably listen to this on a different day, but either or, good morning to you. So, this episode is titled Self-Reflection, the 29th episode. And for those of you who are new to the podcast, welcome to the Connect 0007 podcast, where human connection is everything. And I am your host, Thaddeus Sims. And before I go into this, I wanted to give just a mini announcement / reminder. So if you follow me on my social media accounts, which is Instagram and Twitter, all under my name, Thad Sims. Sorry, guys. Just waking up a little bit. I've been doing some things. But yes, so if you follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, it's all under my name at Thad Sims, THADDSIMS. And then also Facebook too, just Thaddeus Sims. And I did an apology video to apologize to you all because due to reflection, which is actually what we're going to be talking about, some reflection, due to reflection and talking with someone, I came to understand that I was holding back, stuff from you guys. Because I was like, let me give them some time to warm up, get used to a few things. But apparently I need to stop holding back. So get ready for some just raw things here. And I'm just going to say it like it is. And I've been doing that a little bit, but it's just like, okay, yeah, no, I gotta take the bandage off and just boom, we're going to go right into it. So I wanted to apologize. So forgive me. And also, I'm no longer going to be doing the YouTube video. So instead, I'm just going to blend what I did on YouTube onto the podcast. So the podcast was just for how to connect with those around you. But also the YouTube was for just how to connect with self. And since the podcast is about just the human connection, then we're all human, and self, you're a human. So might as well blend it all together. So we're going to be going not backwards and forwards, but we'll just be kind of going in a little dance from connecting with others to connecting with yourself and different things like that. So I just wanted to give you guys just, a heads up on that. So that is pretty much that for the announcement. Now, as you guys know, before I officially start this episode, I have to share my fun fact. So male pups will sometimes let female pups win when they play fight so they can get to know them better. Now I haven't seen I've seen two dogs fight, but I couldn't tell if it was a male or female from at a distance, guys. I know, just look, but they were far away. So I never seen that. But now we are going to start on this episode. Give me 1 second. I'm going to open my bottled water. And if y'all already know how that goes and open my bottled water, I'm sorry. Just know I apologize if I cuss here and there. It's because of the water. Okay, I am back. All right. So, self-reflection. What is self-reflection? Now, I know we all pretty much know, like, oh yeah, sit down or whatever. But no, we're really going to go dive into this. So what is self-reflection? So what I say, this is the time you set for yourself and you make your highest priority to look at yourself and your life and see what's happening around you and what's going on internally. And also you want to see what needs to be changed or not, or what needs your attention. So that is what self-reflection is. So why? Why do you want to self-reflect? So here we go. Number one, it is important to make sure your life is on track to the purpose meant for your life. If you don't know what your purpose is, that's an excellent place to start reflecting on, because a lot of us, we don't know. And if you don't, boom, boom, there's your start. God dang it. There's your start. Number two, You want to reflect to see if what's happening around you is what you want to be happening in the first place. If not, you need to reflect and see what's going on inside of you. And the reason being is that what's happening on the outside is a reflection on the inside. Now, some of us may have heard of that slightly, like, what's happening on the outside is just a reflection on the inside or whatnot. And some of you may have not heard that at all. So here is an example, just so we can be clear on this. If you are experiencing, let's just say, a lot of I'm going to keep this simple here and not go too crazy. But let's just say if you are experiencing a lot of people getting slick with you, right? Then internally, you're probably doing something. There's something about you that's, or actually, I'm going to keep it real simple. You might be getting slick with a lot of people or with yourself. You might be it's possible to get really slick with yourself, meaning certain thoughts may come to mind and you're probably like, yeah, whatever. Like we all have that self-talk with ourselves. And believe it or not, when we have those self-talks, it's important how you talk to yourself. And however you talk to yourself, that can be reflected around you if you really take the moment to really look at that. And some of you guys, you may understand, okay, you may talk to yourself in a very serious way, and you may like it when people speak to you in a serious way or keep it serious. And if you don't like that, then that means you might need to change the way that you talk to yourself, right? So you will find that the world around you is reflecting what you do to yourself. So whatever you're doing, you're going to get that back. So I know for me, on a positive note, if I'm speaking positive things about myself or whatever it is, I'm getting that around me. A lot of people will compliment me or on stuff that I didn't know. And the world just does that. Or I just meet really cool people and they say, hey, Thad, you're really cool at blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Thank you. I'm getting that back. So what's happening around me, I'm liking it. So therefore, I need to keep doing what I'm doing. I reflected on that. And there has been times where, for me, it happens really fast. There's times where I will not have a good attitude. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a journey. So for y'all who think, oh, that's positive all the time, there are some days, baby. There are some days and there's some moments I am not. And I have to really work to get back to being in a positive attitude. So just an example is I was at work. Gosh, it was a few days ago or last week. I don't know. I remember that I just was not in the right attitude and I was just easily annoyed. And so instantly, my first few guests, they were kind of like in an attitude and they were annoying me. And I was like, crap, I'm getting back what I'm putting out. You know what I mean? So I had to really invest in my attitude because I was like, I do not want to experience this. So I had to look back and say, okay, why am I irritated? Why am I having bad attitude? Okay, it's because you're tired. And I had to talk to myself. Okay, do you want to keep experiencing this with other people? Or do you want to get your crap together and you want to have a good day and go? I was like, okay, let me have a good day. Breathe. Think of all the things that make me happy. Start there. Okay, think of the sleep that you're going to have when you leave. Okay, so I had to keep doing this. And eventually I got to that space where I'm like, okay, I feel good. And then the next guest came in all zen and chill and happy. Oh, man, what's up, man? There's like no rush. Take your time, man. And I was like, yes, this is good. Let's stay here. And it works. I'm telling you guys, reflect on that. So if you're experiencing a lot of stuff around you, don't look at why people are doing that. Look at yourself and see what you're doing. Again, and number 3 is you want to make sure you are in harmony with who you really are. I'm gonna say that again. You want to make sure you are in harmony with who you really are and not what you've been told you are. So again, this goes under why you want to self-reflect, to make sure you are in harmony, with who you really are. So here's some examples. Because I think a lot of us here, who you really are. Or some of us may not. I'm going to be open. Some of us may not. And some of us may think we know who we really are. And once you really reflect and look at who you really are, you may come to find that you are not that person. And that has happened in so many cases with almost all of my friends who do reflect and some of my friends who don't reflect, I just know they're not who they are trying to be yet. That's a whole nother talk. But when you really reflect and see who the heck you really are, and you will find that once you discover that and you get in harmony with that, everything changes. So here's some examples. And I can't give you an example with other people because that's other people. But I can only give you an example with myself. Me growing up, I was, let me see. A lot of people thought, I would do sports and things like that because I was tall. And to this day, a lot of people say, you just wasted your height. You should have done sports and things like that. And there was a period in time where I thought, well, okay, I should probably do that because I am tall. So I should use that because, people thought I was wasting it or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm tall for a reason. And I kind of did stuff and I had to really force myself to do it. And it wasn't like the best. But I figured, maybe because I'm not used to it. And, I would do stuff. Now, I did that for a little bit, like I said. But I had to come to find, okay, number one, I really don't like sports. I don't care for sports like that. The ones that I will play is, I will do some archery. I will do some swimming here and there. And I will definitely do some frisbee and volleyball, right? But I came to find that I don't care to do sports like that. That's not me. So when I say self-reflect, now that's why I'm gonna have to cuss because I say there's sentence enhancements. When I self-reflected, I had to really come to terms with myself and sit down and say that how in the hell did you sit here and let these people, short and tall and medium, all in between, tell you that because you're tall, you need to play some sports? And I was like, what the hell type of shit is that? Like, bro, don't come, like, for me, it was like, don't come at me and impose your beliefs that because I'm tall, I need to play sports. No, that is not the case at all. So it kind of got me pissed for a second that it was just like, are you serious? Like, people really coming at tall people, like, for me and just saying I need to play sports. And because I'm not playing sports, that means I wasted it. And I'm like, is it because you're short and you're not tall and you want to be tall and you're imposing that on me, or you're imposing what you've been taught on me? It was like, no, dude. And that really pissed me off. Like, I really can't believe I sat here and listened to people. And I had to come to terms to discuss, with myself, to really reflect on why the heck am I really tall? And one, I'm blessed with the genes. So I thank you, mom and dad, for the height. But I've also come to discover in my own journey that for who I am, I do stick out. The things that I do, I stick out. And part of being tall, for my world, not for everybody's world, but for my world, part of being tall supports that me that sticks out, that sticks outside of the crowd. It supports that being different. Also, when I stand up, it plays a part in my communication. Like, okay, this guy is really tall. Like, I can't be overlooked. God damn it, And I've come to find that my height supported my character and my purpose, not goddamn sports. So that really was something that I had to get in harmony with. And once I understood that, I dropped sports immediately. And I focused on, God dang it, what my purpose was and myself. So that took some self-reflection, because I can say, based on my story, I know a lot of you may have gotten that. Maybe, and not just, you being tall, but you may have gotten, because you're this, maybe, you should do this, or you may have been good at something and people say, you should do this, and that may not be in harmony with who you are. So that's just like my story to, make yourself, look back and reflect and say, okay, based off what people told me, is the person that I'm looking at in the mirror today who I chose to be, who I really am, or is this a combination of what a lot of people have told me? Because I have come to find that in self-reflection, you're going to really get rid and destroy lots of things about yourself that you thought was for you, or you thought were you, and you'll come to find that it was all a big lie. And I'm going to just be the one to tell you that now. Majority, hell, probably 90% of you guys, you're not who you're not who you really are. It's who society, your parents, and everything told you who you are. And some of y'all think y'all are that, and you may not. You may feel some type of way about this. You may feel attacked. And you know what? That's a good indicator that you might need to self-reflect on that so you don't feel attacked. Because if you're like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. That's good. You accepted it. And some of you may be like, yeah, I was there. You reflected and you knew. And guys, I'm only saying this to help you guys out. I ain't trying to attack you, but hell, if you feel attacked, then that's a good indicator. So look at that, because it's not fair to you to be operating in a place of not being in harmony with who you really are. It's not fair to you. And that may be some of the issues that you are facing in your life, especially regarding yourself and connecting with those around you. So boom, there you go. Now, how to self-reflect. So number one, I'm gonna say this like the typical old school African American way to you guys. And some of you may laugh, and some of you may be like, oh my gosh. But some of y'all gonna understand. So number one, how to self-reflect. Sit your ass down away from that goddamn phone and away from people. All of these things are distractions, guys. Just learn to be alone with yourself and face yourself. So again, sit your goddamn ass away from that goddamn phone and be away from people for a minute. Do that. A lot of people don't like to be around. A lot of people don't like to be alone with themselves. And to me, it's just like you were born into the world with yourself. You know what I mean? You go to sleep. You take a shower, some of us, with yourself. Learn. And if you haven't, learn to be with yourself. You will thoughts. And I've come to discover a lot of people don't like to be with themselves because, they avoid certain thoughts. And those thoughts are trying to help you. If they keep coming, they're trying to help you. They're trying to bring your attention. So that's number one. Sit your ass down, away from people, away from the phone. A lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people say, oh, I'm going to self-reflect and be on the phone. No, turn the phone off or leave it in the car. Leave it wherever you're at. Leave it in the house. Go outside on the back porch. Do something. When you go out somewhere, leave it or just turn the phone off. Even that helps. Turn the phone off, put it in your pocket and reflect. You're not being distracted. It's not vibrating, and also too, I don't know about you guys, but I've come to find when I have my phone off, it does something mentally that it just feels so good knowing that it's off. I don't know. It's just like a set at ease. But hey, I'm just trying to help you guys out. That's number one. Number two, ask yourself, what do you need in this moment in time? Literally. Okay, hey, what do I need in this moment in time? And just allow it to come to you. And that doesn't have to be like, oh, I don't know. It doesn't have to be a fire, explodes like in front of you, and in the fire it spells, love. God dang it. It just allow it to come to you. Majority of the time, you already know. It could be a feeling. It could be thoughts. It could be things that you really, again, I'm just going with thoughts, things you really been thinking about. And hell, you might actually be listening to music or you may be outside and as a car is driving by, a certain song may play and there's a message in the song. That has happened too. So hell, there are signs like that too. So ask yourself that, because when you ask yourself, you're putting yourself in a place to be open and, willing to learn and accept. 3, meditate on your life. Now, I'm going to give you some examples on that because when it comes to meditation, a lot of people don't really know, I feel like we're talking with different people when it comes to the word meditation. It's kind of like, oh, well, how do I meditate? Or do I need to sit down and do this? So just to clear up the confusion, there's many different forms of meditation, right? But I'm going to explain it in a way that I do it. So when I meditate on my life, what I do, I'm away from my phone, I'm away from people. I'm in a place where I'm not distracted, be in my room, or it could be to the beach or, at night, away from people, whatever. And I'll sit there, and for me, I just visualize like me looking at my life. And some of you can do it in an easy way, what works for you. I visualize like I'm sitting down in a room and I'm looking at my life on a TV, because we all can all do that. We all watch TV. I sit down and I just look at, okay, I'm looking at my life on TV, and I'm not in it. I'm not in my life in this moment of meditation. I'm visualizing myself outside of myself, observing my life. And you don't have to do it necessarily that way, but I'm just trying to give you some pointers, some things that you can take away. And I'll just look at my life, and or specifically, certain where I'm at now. It doesn't have to be your whole life, but for me, if I need to reflect, I need to see what's going on with me right now. What am I experiencing? And so I may sit down and like, okay, this is what's going on. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. This is what's been happening like this past week. And I look at it and I just observe it for what it is. And as I observe it, it'll come to me, okay, this could have been done better. Or why did I do it this way? Or why am I feeling this way? And I ask myself, and, I look into that. I dive into that. And, a lot of answers will come to you when you do that. So for me, I may meditate and my eyes, majority of the time, are closed. And I'm just visualizing and imagining and looking at my life that way. Some of you guys, you could just go do it like, you can do it in a simple way, but that's just an example of how I do it. For the meditation purpose, that's just my always go to. Another thing. So if that's not for you, if you may think, okay, that's too much. Another way, for you to self-reflect is go for a walk in nature. I guarantee you that's the best connection you will ever have. Go for a walk in nature. Another thing is go exercising, run, go for a bike ride, etc. So when you're moving, things come to you. There's times where I go for my walks and I just think about my life. And that's easy for a lot of people, It's because you're moving. A lot of us like to move. A lot of us can't sit down, and that's perfectly fine. You like to move. So while you're moving or exercising and things like that, allow things to come to you. You may get ideas like, man, I've been experiencing this, I've been feeling this, or thoughts may come to you. And as you're moving, a bunch of solutions will start to come. So that's a form of how to self-reflect. And here's a big one. I love to throw this at people. Like once, they get into it, they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is working. I always love to throw the hard stuff in there. So I'm like, okay. So here's the sixth one. Ask yourself, am I really happy with my life right now? And as I said it, I can kind of feel some people, they kind of went down a little bit, and that's okay. So if no, reflect on why not and think of solutions. If kinda, reflect on why not and think of solutions. If yes, reflect anyways and see what you can do to keep it going and expanding on your happiness. And I say that because if you are not happy with life right now, that's another start of, okay, asking yourself, why not? What are you doing in your life that's not making you happy? And some of us will, they may look and think, well, I can't control that, but you will find that you can. It could be your attitude. It could be different things that you're doing. There's a different route that you can go about these things. All of it is very different for all of us. So just reflect on it and see what it is. Hell, write it down and think of solutions. And if you can't, always ask someone that you trust, and who will be willing to tell you the truth, and actually someone who's positive. Let me say that in there. Someone who's positive and come with solutions, and, run that by them and ask them, hey, this is why I'm not happy. However you got to talk to them and let them know I'm trying to fix this. And people love it when you're trying to fix things, right? So that's, things you could do. If kinda, because I have been there many times. I've been there majority of my life. Kinda. Like, are you happy right now? I'm like, kinda. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I love every minute of my life. It's like, I'm kinda like, here we go. I'm grateful, which I am, but that was kind of like, I'm grateful. It ain't like, oh my gosh, I need to tell you about my life. It ain't let me make a YouTube video on how happy I am. You know what I mean? It was kind of, with that look in your face, like kind of, your voice kind of dropped a little bit. Kind of, maybe, the shrugs. And I was like, okay, I probably should reflect on that. And I had to do that. And I've come to find that when it was kind of like I was happy, I found that one of the reasons being for the kinda was that I'm doing good stuff, but I'm not doing what I need to do for myself. I'm not doing my purpose. I'm not doing the thing that makes me happy and or investing in that happiness. So that was the source of my kinda. And then if yes, some of you guys may be excited about life. That is good. I am too now. I'm at that point. I'm really excited about life. And that is good. But I still say self-reflect anyways and see what you can do to keep it going and expand on that happiness. Because yes, you may be super excited now, but there is more to life. You can do more things to expand on that, discover different things, do new different things. And I say reflect to see, what else can you do to invest into that happiness, to keep investing in your life. If man, twice out the week, I'm exercising and it makes me feel good. And ask yourself, you know what? Because I've been doing this for a good 3 months now, can I do a little bit more? And if I can, add that in and play around and see, be like a kid, playful, get very playful. And just, like I said, reflect on that a bit. So either or, you're going to be reflecting. And I just look at it as reflecting as you're really just taking the time to invest in yourself, putting the gas back in the tank, oiling the car, making sure you're right. So we're moving on to when to self-reflect. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, it can kind of be either or, but I'm just going to give both to you. So for the first one is for those who do it often, when it's time to reflect or not. So it's kind of like a knowing, especially when you feel like, what's next? Or when you feel like you're unsure or possibly veering off track. So that's for people who do it often, you know what I mean? And it's a knowing. You just have to do it often and you'll get what I mean, guys, if you don't. And then now on the other side, if if you're just starting, I'd personally say reflect like every night before, bed until you're at the point where you apply immediately what you get in self-reflection. So just to repeat that, if you're just starting, I'd say reflect every day, like right before bed until you're at the point where you apply immediately what you get in self-reflection. And then after you pass that point, you'll know what works best for you and your lifestyle, be it weekly, daily, monthly, and like every few months, yearly, etc. So just lastly, guys, the benefits. And I just got just 7 benefits for you. There's obviously more, but I ain't trying to take all y'all time. So first, you'll start to have your life together. That was my main thing. I was always say, I need to get my shit together. That was my main thing. And I was just like, okay, yeah, number one, that's a huge benefit. God damn it. When you have your life together, boy, you just feel really good. You don't feel as heavy. You don't feel scattered. It's just like, yes, I got my life together. That's an accomplishment, I will tell you. And that happens when you self-reflect. So number 2, you'll be aware that you have control of your life and not be at the mercy of what life throws at you. When you self-reflect, you will discover this. You may not think of this now, but you'll come to terms that life is not what happens to you. It's what you do, what you think, how you feel. You'll find that you have more control of what's going on around you than you think. And if you feel like, yeah, nah, man, I don't got control. People doing this, people doing that. You'll reflect and come to terms that you're giving your power to all those different things that you say, this has control, this has control. You'll come to find that you're giving that power to it. And that's okay. That's where you are now. But you'll get there. You'll get there. Number 3, you will gain and invest in your peace. Now, peace is like the number one, I would say, wealthiest thing to have, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people be chasing money and stuff like that, but I have been around all types of people. I've been around people who have lots of money, and that peace, they don't have it. I've been around people who don't have no money, but they have that peace. And then there's people I've met who had, the money and the peace, And regardless, I've had people who just are just full of peace, and they are very grateful for where they are, and they live a completely different lifestyle, but they're at peace. And I say that because your peace may be a bit different than, what other people may think is peace. And you'll know that peace when you have it. I know for me, my peace is when I am on track and I am expanding in my life. That is my form of peace. When that is not happening, I am the complete opposite. It is very chaotic and not in the fun way. So when I self-reflect, I'm investing in that peace and keeping that, because once you have it, it's not just like, oh, you're there. You do things to keep that. You invest in that. Number 4, you'll start to glow, and you'll come off as a person who's fully aware of themselves and what they need to do, because you do. You just do. You're going to just start glowing. You're just going to know. You're just going to be aware of yourself. Number 5 is harmony with your purpose. We talked about that earlier. Don't have to go too much into that. 6 is emotional stability. We're going to pause on that one for a little bit, because with emotional stability, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Y'all will see me and y'all will be like, oh my God, that is so peaceful. That is so zen. And I will tell you, yes, but internally, I am like fire. And that is not in a bad way, but I am like extreme in my emotions with things. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm peaceful, I'm calm. But hell, on the inside, oh, I can do this better. Oh, I can add this. How can I make, I'm like fire on the inside, but I guess on the outside, it just comes off like with all these combinations of things. I'm just like zen and stuff like that. And I guess also too, I know when to get into that space and when not to, for myself. But yeah, man, emotional stability. And it's not saying that it's like, I'm like unstable, but it's just like my emotions will be everywhere, but they're in harmony with what the heck I'm trying to do. Now, on the flip side, there are some people who are just not emotionally stable whatsoever. God dang it. They see a fly fall and they immediately think of like how they fell when they were a kid and it was in front of people on the stage, and they will break down because they were embarrassment, all because of a fly falling reminded them of that. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but if you want to, not go there, some self-reflection will get you right, baby girl. I'm just saying. And lastly, upgrades in your health. And a lot of people might be like, what? What do you mean upgrades in my health? Well, when you reflect, part of that reflection when it comes to your life is there may be some issues, some health issues that you got going on. And when you self-reflect and probably seeing what the heck you doing and what environments you in, and you start changing none of that, I'm just saying you upgrading your health. And just to give you an example, when it comes to environment, before I worked at the job that I work at now, I worked at Cracker Barrel on 45th Street. And I don't work there, so I can say whatever the hell I want to now. It was chaos there. It was ridiculous over there. I had to do so much over there. People say, oh, that you calm and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, y'all say that, but hell, I want to cuss each and every person out in order here. Like, let's not, like, I'm tired of coming here and it be like a fire, like chaos. It's just like, it's going to be some hell. And I got tired of that shit. And it was like annoying. And I really just wanted to, boy, talk about killing people. I got past that point. It was just like, oh my gosh. And then there was one person, I'm going to be really, okay, let's take it there. I said I wasn't holding back no more because I almost did. Well, let's take it there. I'm going to take it there with y'all. There was one person, like, Thad is good now. This is y'all have the good Thad now. But before, this was the bad Thad. This was the, I ain't give a F about people's life. But there's this one particular manager. I'm not going to say his name because he might be listening to this podcast one day. And I don't want him to come at me, because I will shut him down. And also for his sake, his protection. But there was this one particular manager I did not like. He pissed me off. And it is rare that I get pissed off at a job because I don't allow people to get my emotions. But at that particular time, I didn't know what I knew. And let's just say one day he pissed me off to the point where I walked out of work. And I had to call my sister. And my sister reminds me to this day, she's never seen me that pissed. I absolutely hated this individual. And yes, I meant that word. I hated that individual. And to prove to y'all I hated that individual, I think the next I don't know when it was. It happened sometime after the event. I think I was having, I don't know, it was not the day to be at Cracker Barrel. And I was so pissed and I was not having it. And they said he got in a car accident or something like that. I was so happy, guys, to the point where I didn't even ask if he lived or not. I was so happy. I was rolling other people's silverware. I was helping people who I ain't even like there. I had so much energy. I was talking to the managers that I didn't like. Say, y'all need me to do anything? They asked me if I needed to stay. I didn't mind. God dang it. Because that news just gave me life. And then when I found out he lived, I was a little bit down off of that. But that's how badly I did not like this individual. And I say that to you guys because some of y'all may have been there, but I say that to you guys because that was the environment that I was in. And because of that environment, it affected me that way to be okay with this person got in a car accident or got in some type of accident. And I was happy and I didn't care if he lived or not. This is the result of the environment that I was in, and it wasn't healthy. So I say once I got out of that environment, that was an upgrade to my health because I was no longer under, that energy of just, hatefulness or anger and things like that. I got out of that environment and it's a more peaceful environment. It's a more chill. And that impacted my emotional health. So I had to get out of that environment. And because of that, my emotional health and a bunch of other things have changed. So that's one example of some self-reflection and upgrades in your health, because your emotional health is very important, and especially your mental health. There's some mental health that was going on over there too, but we ain't gonna get in that because that's not my business. But all I'm saying is, when you self-reflect, because I actually had to self-reflect on why I let that individual bother me that much. And majority of the reason was because of his attitude and the way that he did things. And I came to understand that how he was an extreme way of how I was in certain areas. Be it he would get slick, and I was always slick. But not with like the managers, but I was slick in different areas of my life. And though some of my friends may have not told me they didn't like that, but because he was extremely slick and I self-reflected on he was like the perfect mirror for that, I had to change that. Because I didn't like how he was with me. Like, I had to come to talk with him. Hey, this is what's going on. Well, why do you think that happened? So I was just like, okay, you know what? You pissed me off. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. And that led me to reflect. That's what I learned. That's what I got in my reflection, is this guy was a mirror for how the heck I was, but in an extreme way. And that allowed me to come to the point, or come to the place where, do you want to change that, or do you want to keep it going? Because you keep it going, this going to come up again. And you pretty much created this. So what do you want? It balls in your court, bro. So that is perfect example. So with that being said, guys, that is self-reflection. And I wanted to really talk to you guys about that because, like I said, this podcast is all about the human connection. And you are a human. Some of y'all. You are a human, and I feel as though once you reflect and you get yourself right, you will be attracted to other people who have their stuff together, and it will literally change the quality of your life. And even if you don't, though you will, but even if you don't, you're improving yourself and you're getting yourself right. You're getting yourself better. You're getting yourself more in harmony. And once you get yourself in harmony, you'll start getting in harmony with the people who are helping you with your purpose and things like that. Or you'll get in harmony with people who can help you change your life for the better. So again, all of this stuff, you're doing it to yourself. All of this stuff will go back into those around you. So with that being said, guys, this is the end of this episode. And like I normally end it, I always like to say, I pray that whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish and you are working towards for your life, I pray that you get it. I pray that pretty much all things that make you happy, you get that. I dang sure pray that some of y'all who start to self-reflect, y'all actually face some of the things you need to face and get what you need to get so you can become better, feel better, and gain these benefits. And also, I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode and supporting the podcast. You all are amazing. And I will be talking with you all throughout the week on social media, or you'll be hearing the next podcast Friday. So that being said, I will talk to you guys soon. All right, later.